Today on Ian vs. Daddybones, we're kicking off October with a brand new Box for Me. Welcome back! It's another exciting episode of Ian vs. Daddybones. I am Ian Daddybones. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook right now, hey everybody, what's going on? As always, I got a special high five and a knuck tap to all the Facebook and Patreon subscribers going above and beyond, supporting the brand for $2 to $3 a month, depending where you go. You're getting access to bonus content, plus I got OGPC, VR Live, access to content that's up on the Patreon and Facebook subscribers, in addition to the OGPC VR Live content that's dropping on my social media. Welcome to the show, everybody. How are you doing today? I am doing fucking fabulous. It is time to start October. We're officially in spooky season, counting down to Halloween. So what I'm going to do for the month of October is I am going to be having a Skelebration, so to speak, because I have multiple different versions of Skeletor that I plan on opening this month. And I also got a brand new box of Ian in the mail yesterday, so I'm going to show you what I recently grabbed that I'm going to be opening up not only today on the show, but I got something for Patreon and Facebook subscribers for bonus content. But I also have another block build, brick build, that I'm going to be doing in the future. And I grabbed something that my son Owen is really interested in. So I'm going to build that, and I'm going to give it to my son, and it's going to be fucking fresh. But over the course of October, I'm going to keep it spooky. I got different versions of Skeletor that I have to open up. I'm not sure exactly what's going to be a Facebook reel, what's going to be bonus content, what's going to be an actual episode, because there's also other monsters in Eternia besides multiple versions of Skeletor, and I'm talking about the Evil Horde, and I have Masterverse versions of Leech, Grizzlor, Hordak, in addition to the other version of Hordak that I opened up. But He-Man is not the only villain. He-Man is not the only hero that battles Hordak. Hordak has another enemy that he faces, and she happens to be celebrating her 40th birthday this year, and that's none other than She-Ra, the Princess of Power. So I am going to be opening up She-Ra on the next episode of Ian vs. Daddybones, but I am going to be doing a second bonus episode for the public, not behind the paywall. I am doing a bonus episode where I am going to open up that first Skeletor variant that I have on hand with me behind the curtain, and that is the Horde Apprentice version of Skeletor. So I'm going to be opening him up, talking about that, and the reason why there's an Apprentice Acolyte version of Skeletor, and that's going to be fucking fresh because it ties into a comic book series that you really need to check out because it's worth the read. But today on the show, like I said, I have a box for me that came in the mail. Actually, I got 2 packages in the mail yesterday. One was supposed to show up on fucking Saturday, and it never arrived. Thought it was going to be there on Sunday. Wasn't there. And then it decided it was going to show up on Monday, which happened to be the same date that I was expecting another package to arrive. Both of them were from Mattel Creations, so either way, they were going to get there eventually. So the first item that I happened to receive was a Masters of the Universe exclusive figure, and These Masters of the Universe exclusive figures is what introduced me to Mattel Creations when it comes to obtaining a lot of these figures that are not sold in stores. Like, for example, September's drop is none other than the figure known as Demo Man. Now, Demo Man is the evil spirit of Despondos, and this Demo Man figure, he's green, he's wearing silver armor, he's got spiked wrist cuffs, he's got a long-ass goatee with a bone hanging off it, he's wearing his own type of headband, throne, or crown, if you will, and he happens to come with 2 additional head sculpts. One is a skeleton head rocking a spiked horned helmet, and then you have a Skeletor head. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why the hell does this thing come with a Skeletor head? And the reason for that is because Demo Man, now, I'm going to kind of jump the gun a little bit, and I'm going to open up this mini comic real quick as I talk. But basically, I already talked about Demo Man at one point on Ian vs. Daddybones. It was when I opened up the Masterverse Barbarian Skeletor figure. If you want to go on the YouTube and look for that episode, it was within the first year of the show, I believe. But basically, okay, flipping through the comic real quick, it looks like they got a newly reimagined origin backstory for Demo Man. But basically, when I opened up the Barbarian Skeletor figure, I happened to mention that this particular Skeletor not only had his, like, you know, skull face, Skeletor face as you would expect, but this Skeletor happened to be a more greener than he was yellow like the other Skeletors, and this Skeletor also happened to have a fucking goatee, and with it being the new Eternia Barbarian Skeletor, they take classic concepts from the original artwork when, you know, Mark Taylor and other Mattel artists were creating Masters of the Universe. You know, they were coming up with these, well, what if we came up with this type of guy? Or what if we came up with this type of guy? You know, when they were at the drawing board, coming up with all these concepts. When they were trying to come up with a, well, the original story was when they were trying to come up with Skeletor, one of the original drawings, concept art images of Skeletor was of, and it was an image of Demo Man that's very much posed like that image is on the front of his card art, and he was just hulking with his tunic and he had a scimitar sword, and he had like a mace, a spiked ball on a chain, and you know, he was more of a he looked like the type of, like, ogre demon you would expect to find in a cave in, like, a fucking role-playing game. You know what I mean? Rather than being the bad guy. You know what I mean? Instead, he looks like more of a background goon, side character, henchman, than actually being the boss. But this concept art of Demo Man, for years, has been thought to have been one of Skeletor's original concept sketches. However, that's been recently proven that's not the case, because Demo Man was actually a character that Mark Taylor created for an unrelated line, but when it came time for him to show his bosses at Mattel, so what have you been working on? He, like, grabbed all this shit and threw it in his portfolio to, like, scramble out of his cubicle or wherever the fuck, whatever office he was in, to go meet up with his boss and, you know, present them with what he's been working on. And in that folder was that original concept of Demo Man, who eventually got added to the keep pile on all things that would eventually become Skeletor. And that's still rumor, speculation, allegation, because so many people that worked on Masters of the Universe have their own versions of what went down. Numerous Masters of the Universe fans like myself over the years, and then plenty of dudes that have more successful YouTube channels and, you know, vlogs and whatnot, you know, that they've conducted interviews where, you know, people have told the story about Demo Man and his creation and shit like that. So on one hand, it's kind of like, you know, the legend of Wonder Bread He-Man. You know, some people still claim that it was a real thing that Wonder Bread mailed out to people. And then you have people that say, no, it never fucking happened. It's an urban legend. It's a myth. But it's all hearsay and allegations, speculations. But now that I got Demo Man out of the packaging. Now, see, the thing is, too, going back, like, Demo Man was like one of those concepts that was like allegedly, you know, one of the basis for Skeletor's creation. So in the Masters of the Universe Classics line between 2008 and 2018, at one time they made a Demo Man figure based on that original story of him being concept art Skeletor, and they felt he was worthy of being included in the Classics line. So Demo Man already has a character, but it's more of a Masterverse scale when compared to the vintage line, which this version of Demo Man is, you know, part of now. So it's really cool seeing this somewhat smaller scale version of Demo Man, but, you know, whether or not he's actual part of Skeletor's true origin or not, you know, that's where part of the fun of the play comes in, because, you know, the way I look at it is whatever's in this mini comic that I haven't really gotten a chance to read yet, with this mini comic, you know, there's an explanation for why Demo Man exists in the Origins Eternia line, you know, in the Origins line of Masters of the Universe. So he could still have a connection to Skeletor where he's tied to Skeletor, but at the same time he could have a complete different origin completely. And like I said, you know, he doesn't really look like he'd ever be the final boss, but he definitely looks like he'd make a decent henchman. And there you go, there he is right there, standing up with a spiked ball, which I kind of like having face down instead of having him holding it, because it actually kind of tripods the motherfucker to give him a reason to stand up straight. But, you know, he looks really sick. My only complaint about the figure would be he's kind of too much of a basic goon. You know what I mean? Other than, like, if you take the silver away, he looks like a basic orc that I would, like, fucking kill if I was playing Gauntlet. You know what I mean? Back in the day, whether I'm playing it in the arcade or if, like, I'm playing one of the remakes on Nintendo 64, he looks like one of those basic-ass orcs. Like, like my friends that do tabletop gaming and shit with your miniatures, he looks like one of your basic-ass orcs. He doesn't really look too threatening, but he does look threatening, but it says he's the evil spirit of the Spondos, and the whole thing was, allegedly, you know, it was rumored that the spirit of Demo Man was actually grafted to Keldor through Hordak's magic and enchantments, and that's what created the final, you know what I mean? That's what completed the process for creating Skeletor and taking Keldor to the next level, was Hordak using this dark magic and fusing Demo Man with Skeletor. And at some point, it looks like that might be the case with this comic. I haven't flipped through it yet, but the cover of it has Demo Man. It shows Keldor, and it does show Skeletor with his hood down, and it looks like he has this green fire coming off his skull. So it basically looks like I'm not reading the whole thing because I don't got time to read through it, but it looks like Skeletor and Evil Lyn are up to some shit, and she conjures some magic, and it looks like Demo Man appears, and then it has some backstory panels where it shows Keldor fighting Randor, and it does show Keldor's face melting off and becoming Skeletor, and it looks like, and Hordak's kneeling over Skeletor, and it does look like he did bond the soul of Demo Man with Skeletor. So it looks like, they are keeping somewhat the original origin with this, but it looks like Demo Man and Skeletor are coming in within some conflict of each other. But either way, like I said, from being a character that was never created before in the Classics line, now we get this new character officially a part of Origins, and he comes with this additional head of this skull, wearing this horned helmet. Now, there were other sketches that did have images that looked like that, so I don't know if that's necessarily another idea for Skeletor's original concept, or if that was just a skeleton. I mean, because the back of the art shows Demo Man fighting these skeleton warriors, and two of the skeleton warriors are wearing helmets, so, who the fuck knows. But he also comes with this other Skeletor head that does have jeweled eyes, and as far as I know, that's the second Skeletor head that has jeweled eyes. The first one came with the Keldor and Cronus 2-pack that came out in like 2021, but there you go right there. We got Demo Man cracked open, looking dope. Now, also in my box, and this I'm going to be opening up for Patreon subscribers. I ordered these in September, and I'm going to explain everything about what's going on with WWE and Mattel Creations, but I officially got Mosh and Thrasher, the Headbangers. Now, these guys look absolutely fucking sick. They got their WWE Tag Team Championships, and both of the figures are elite scale figures, but they got their fabric t-shirts, they got their fabric skirts, and they're in this collector packaging, and they look absolutely sick. There's a bio on the back, there's a side panel with the art, and yeah, both Mosh and Thrasher look absolutely sick. I'm going to be talking about opening these guys up for Patreon subscribers. And last but not least, in the box of me, I got, after seeing this at like Target numerous times, I decided to grab it and add it to my cart when I was grabbing Demo Man, because with the way I figured out how Mattel Creations uses shop, depending on what I grab, sometimes I'll split my purchases into 4 payments and make it easy. So basically, with ordering one Demo Man, I needed to get it over the hump. I needed to split it into 4. So what I needed to get me over the edge was the Mega Pokemon Pokedex. Now, this is a 322 piece set that has a display stand, and I'm basically building Ash Ketchum's Pokedex that he carried around and used as he was trying to collect them all. And this particular set comes with the Pokedex for you to build, and it actually folds shut, it opens up. And this particular Mega Block set comes with a couple light up bricks, so the button will light up, and I believe the screen will light up. I haven't gotten that far, but it also includes 5 lenticular cards, which are basically your back in the day, your 80s moving baseball card. It has 5 different pictures of Pokemon. It comes with Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and Eevee. So you can customize what you want your Pokedex to have on the screen. If any of those are one of your 5 favorite Pokemon, I know some people watching this are probably going to get pissed off that, like, Gengar's not on it, and honestly, I'm kind of pissed off that, Sneck isn't one of the choices, because Sneck's one of my favorites, and so is Squawkabilly. I just think Squawkabilly is fucking hilarious. But I'm going to be building this at some point. Honestly, it's like, I know in June I built He-Man's Power Sword, and I turned that into like a 5-episode thing, and I had a blast doing that. and I did I did the Barbie car, I did that in multi-part videos, and I'm finding out with doing the Lego build, rather than film me building the fucking thing, I'm having more fun trying to stop motion animation that shit. I've done that with some of the stuff that I've been building my wife, like the $10 Lego 3-in-1 creator sets, like Amber's dragon and her unicorn, and most recently, and if you made it this far in the video, if you could do me a solid, I'm really trying to get those Lego Up videos where I'm building the Up house from, the house from Up. There's 4 videos. If you see those, share them shits. I'm trying to get that shit to go viral. It's a fun little build, and it's a great example of me just taking pictures of building the fucking thing, and it was a blast. It was more of a fun editing experience for me doing it that way rather than just filming the entire, okay, I've been filming for 30 minutes, let me stop my camera and reset everything, because that got kind of frustrating. And honestly, I got Snake Mountain and I got Castle Grayskull, and both of those are over 3,000 pieces, and I don't want to take all that time doing making that shit in video. I rather stop motion that shit and turn it into a little smaller, faster video that a lot of people really seem to be enjoying. So smash that share button, I would really appreciate it. But that's gonna do it for this episode of the show. Like I said, I'm trying to cut the length of the show in half and keep it focused on the topic with less rambling. And counting down to episode 100. We're getting ready to start year 3 of Ian versus Daddybones. Year 3, the prisoner of Ask for Bans, because I'm constantly pushing the envelope, and I'm surprised I haven't gotten banned on Facebook. And that's the thing, everybody always likes to point out, oh, Ian's in Facebook jail again. Well, you know what, I haven't been in Facebook jail in over 2 years, but nobody fucking talks about that. All they talk about is, when I can't post for 30 days. But when I'm constantly posting, you don't fucking see that. But for everybody who does, I appreciate you. And until next time, cheers, Pete.
Fuck Ian Daddybones. Fuck Twin Widow, whatever the hell it is. No one gives a shit about you, Ian. Everyone hates you. Fuck off.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Having a banger and you're all invited. Share with friends and I'll see you later. Bring everyone, invite my haters. Throw your hands in the fucking air. Let's push a cripple down a flight of stairs. Got new shit right for your ears. My Hadouken is downright fierce. Rock out with my cock out. Jump around, I got your shout outs. I'm Daddybones, no need to panic. Talking riddles like a schizophrenic. 24/7, I got the party. Roofie roos and whoop-de-doos. Retarded fools with attitudes. Bro, everything's mixed with Bacardi. Glow stick black like tons of bubbles. Titties on bitches, nothing but trouble. Got my pills, ain't no quitter. Pop that shit, here comes my glitter. Not a dancer, I got no skills. Bobbing my head and standing still. Tons of bitches, ravers, goths. Down the fuck and get your salad tossed. It's the greatest thing that you ever saw. Put your hands in the air for a party. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Having a bang and you're all invited. Kids posing, muscles flexing, trains dressed like favorite X-Men. If there's one thing that drives me crazy, you give high fives but you fucking hate me. Might have rabies, might have herpes. Breastfeed me and you'll have to burp me. I'll be up on stage, throwing out beads, grabbing my dick and spraying my seed all over your face. That's fucking rude. Raise it up and show your boobs. Dance around and go friggin' nuts. Just b-boy stance and light your blunts. Don't be a cunt. Tuck your chain, don't start no shit. Use your brain, it's all a game. Let's play some Yahtzee. Eat Tide Pods and punch a Nazi. Not a dancer, I got no skills. Bobbing my head and standing still. Tons of bitches, ravers, goths. Down the fuck and get your salad tossed. It's the greatest thing that you ever saw.